Introducing the Bite Me Cannabis Club. The Bite Me Cannabis Club aims to be an inclusive online space for cannabis lovers. Whether you're simply curious about how cannabis can improve your life or you're fully seasoned, there's always more to learn. When you join the Bite Me Cannabis Club, you'll have access to like-minded people interested in cannabis, monthly workshops, live Q&As, recipes and recipe swaps, digital cookbooks, a fully functional chat feature, and a whole lot more. For a limited time, it's only $5 a month with a 30-day free trial so you can try it out and see if it's right for you. This isn't just another Facebook group or confusing Discord channel. I carefully chose a platform that offers a clear, uncluttered, and seamless community experience. See for yourself, join today, say hello. I can't wait to connect with you there. Join the Bite Me Cannabis Club today. Link in your podcast app. In this special New Year's Eve episode, we're going to look at exciting things to come in 2021 for Bite Me, the show about edibles. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Marge, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm feeling a little festive today. It's New Year's Eve when you're listening to this. I did record it a few days in advance, of course, because I'm excited about looking at all the things to come in 2021. Fun things I have planned for you guys, things that are happening with other people who've been a part of the show over the last year. And of course, we're going to be announcing the winner of the subscriber giveaway that I held on the 27th of December. That's when I picked the name. So I'll be announcing that too at the end of this episode. So stay tuned. And I do want to say, to start out this new year, I just want to thank all of you who've been following along during 2020, during what was probably one of the weirdest years of my life. And I'm sure most of you will agree to the same, that 2020 was a year that we're probably going to wish we could forget pretty quickly, but will of course also stick in our memories for many years to come, as we recount tales of toilet paper shortages and civil unrest and a pandemic that swept the entire world. I mean, this was a really interesting moment in history, and it won't soon be forgotten. I am starting out this particular year in a lockdown. So where I am, I'm in Ontario, Canada, and cases of the coronavirus have been at an all-time high. And they put us into a new lockdown starting on the 26th. So that's how I'm starting out the new year. We won't be doing too much festivities outside of the house because, of course, there's nothing to do and nowhere to go. But I hope that we can spend some time together through this podcast. I'm excited about that at the very least. I do want to say, give my apologies actually, because I did have a Christmas Eve episode, because my episodes do come out every Thursday at 8 a.m. And Christmas Eve happened to be a Thursday. And I realized that I had all the episodes prepped for the month pretty well in advance, as I sometimes like to do, because I do work outside of this podcast at a dispensary in my town. So I try and stay organized and get on top of things so that I can manage the job and the podcast as well. And I had done all this work to get that New Year's Eve episode prepped along with the other ones I had done for December. And lo and behold, I went to go check something, I forget what exactly, maybe where I upload my podcast episodes to, where they get distributed to all the podcast platforms, and it wasn't there. I was like, what the hell? What's going on? I did make one, right? I did record one. And of course, I had totally forgotten to upload it. I had done all the editing, I had made the graphics, I had written the show notes and all that stuff, and I forgot to hit the most important button, which was to publish. And so I apologize for that. If you're looking for that episode, that is why. And I guess every so often, even professionals like myself tend to make mistakes like that. And I will do my best not to let that happen again. I'll be ever cognizant of hitting the publish button when the time is right. So my apologies for that. What a great way to start the new year, hey? But that's okay. You have to live and learn and bounce back from your little boo-boos. And at the end of the day, I guess that wasn't really that big of a one. I also figured that a lot of people on Christmas Eve would be doing a lot of things with friends or family, or just, hunkering down from weather. I mean, we were getting rain here, which turned to freezing rain. It was pretty weird weather where I am. So in any case, another way, so as I said, we're going into a lockdown in my area, which means that The friends that I have a pretty small circle of friends, but ones that I do try and meet regularly for coffee, and I like to go to yoga classes and, that kind of thing. And I won't be able to do any of that. But how do you stay connected when you're feeling like you're pretty isolated inside your own home? Well, of course, this podcast is one great way, because I really like to make this show and all the interactions that I have with people that are following along with me. But there's a couple of interesting new social platforms that I have learned about that I am going to be trying out. And I'm not sure if you've heard, but I guess some of these social platforms, namely Facebook and probably by extension Instagram, have been banning a lot of cannabis-related content. And this has been a bit of a problem where I am in Canada, because obviously cannabis is fully legalized here, recreational and medicinal cannabis. And so these people who are creating a lot of this content does come in the form of educational content, where they're helping people learn and grow and find how cannabis can help them. And whether it's a show like mine that's teaching people how to make edibles at home, or other types of content creators out there, some of them are getting banned because the content is cannabis related. So there's been a couple of other new social platforms that have been popping up to combat this problem. And maybe some of you have found the same in areas where you're at, where people are getting shadow banned or banned completely, having their pages taken down or removed, which is really heart-wrenching. We've put a lot of time and effort into building audiences and posting content in these places. And in some places, it can take a long time to build an audience and find followers, because it's just, these people are hardworking folks that aren't necessarily paying to buy followers. It's certainly something I don't do. But what do you do when you are faced with that problem? Well, Cannabis and mybud.ca. So there's one platform. It's got an app. I'm not sure if it's Canadian based or US based, but it's called Cannabis. And it is a mobile app that I'm guessing is available on both iPhone and Android. I have an iPhone, so I was able to download it on my phone. And if you go there, that is basically a social network that is 100% cannabis related. So if you're looking for cannabis content, it is definitely the place to be, because everybody on there is posting about that kind of stuff. So I hopped on there. I'm still trying to figure it out. I haven't been on it a lot because, as I mentioned, when you've got a family and a job and a podcast and all these other things that you're trying to do and fit into your time, sometimes the social media is one thing that kind of lags behind. And I am at Marge on Cannabis. So if you happen to be interested in trying to, some alternative platforms as far as cannabis content goes, it looks like it's pretty interesting. And I'm looking at it right now, and it's got everything from people who are making edibles, people who are growing at home, people doing, what else we have? Oh, here's somebody who's making some Everclear. So that tells me that there is probably also a US based content on here, and it's pretty interesting. So you go on, and it's, similar to like the other social platforms that you're probably familiar with. It's just all 100% cannabis related. And if you want to join me or follow me over there, I'm going to be trying to figure out how to use this platform to the best of my ability in the next several weeks. And yeah, go on over there and give me a fist bump, because instead of likes, they do fist bumps, which I actually kind of like. That's kind of fun. And there are all kinds of people in there posting beautiful edibles of all sorts. And some of them are providing recipes and that kind of thing. So it's also a great place to find inspiration if you're creating edibles, cocktails, any of that kind of stuff. Or if you're also looking to learn more about growing, if you have the opportunity to do some growing where you are. So there's probably some cannabis reviews too, if you're able to. Yes, there's some cannabis reviews as well. So I encourage you to check that out. Find me at Marge, and that's where I'll be part of the time. There's also a new one that's going to be launching soon, I heard, for those in Canada, called mybud.ca. And I don't know a lot about that one yet, because I read somewhere that they're going to be relaunching their site in the new year. So I haven't actually signed up for that one yet, but I'll probably sign up for that one too, because I'm just curious to see what it's all about and to connect with other like-minded cannabis lovers in the Great White North. So I'll link to both of those cannabis networks in the show notes as well. So if you have any inclination towards checking those out, then by all means do so. Find me, follow me, or whatever it is they do on their particular platform, and let's learn together. Speaking of learning, actually, if you recall, Keena Moffat, who was the creative maven that I had on the show a few months ago now, I can't quite remember when, 2020 was a bit of a blur, but she messaged me recently to say that she just became the culinary cannabis instructor for the Mitchell School of Business in the United States, and which is an amazing opportunity for Keena to further share her knowledge and expertise on cooking with cannabis. And if you've ever watched any of Keena's YouTube videos, I love her style. She's so bubbly. She's very knowledgeable. She's so knowledgeable. She knows so much about cooking with cannabis and infusing, and she's a herbalist and she wears a lot of different hats, but she's going to be taking on this new position. And what's exciting about this is an online course, a certified cannabis culinary professional. So that's something that you've been looking into getting into because you want to further your knowledge for getting into the cannabis industry. Then this is one way to spend some of your time if you're having some downtime because of changes in your life due to what's going on in the world. Then this might be a way to sort of take your ideas to the next level. It is a self-paced course, and what she told me that is it's virtual and self-paced, and they do weekly Zoom meetings. And basically, you're going to learn to cook with cannabis and turn your delicious ideas into the next great business. The online culinary cannabis professional program provides a comprehensive foundation for entering the edibles culinary cannabis industry. And I know there's some of you out there who are working to make edibles at home because you do have an eye to getting into the cannabis industry, and this might be one way to further some of your knowledge and to get a certification behind you that you can put on a resume that might help you in the right direction. And the program outline says it consists of resources, presentations, and fun cooking exercises developed by master herbalist and cannabis cookbook author Keena Moffat to increase your knowledge and spark your culinary creativity. It's designed for anyone looking to learn how to safely and responsibly prepare cannabis meals and snacks. The course will begin with a brief history lesson and a vision of what's to come in the future of the industry. You will learn best practices for operating safely and responsibly in your cannabis kitchen and be prepared to take the National Restaurant Association's Food and Safety Certification. And there's several modules. If you go to the link that I'll put in the show notes, you can see what is in each module and what it consists of, and it's pretty comprehensive. And as it's said, in the end, you're going to get your National Restaurant Association Food and Safety Certification along with all the knowledge that you gain about cooking specifically with cannabis and how to prepare them safely for other people to enjoy. So I think that is fantastic. Congratulations, Keena, on this new movement in your career, your cannabis-based career. I think she'll be fantastic. Again, if you haven't seen Keena, you're not sure what her cooking videos might be like, I would highly suggest you find her. I think it's My Antidote TV on YouTube. Again, I'll link to that in the show notes so you can find it easily and you can get a gist for what it might be like to take or to do some of her videos for this particular course. And she has an infectious enthusiasm for making edibles, and I think it'd be really enjoyable. And I believe registration does start pretty early, but if you've been wondering what the hell to do with your time in the new year and you want to take it deeper, then this might be one way to do that. So definitely check that out. Next, I have a shout out to Barry. Hi, Barry. You are all the way in the UK, and I just want to give you a shout out because I really appreciate the donation on Buy Me a Cookie. It is so appreciated, and anytime somebody makes the effort to put to donate a few bucks to help me run this show, it is so meaningful to me. And there is now the opportunity to purchase a membership for a certain few dollars a month. And you could also do a yearly one. And what I'm going to be working on, you guys, is something special for those of you who want to support the show in that fashion. I'm not sure exactly. I've got several ideas for that. I'm not sure what it's exactly going to look like just yet, but just know that I'll be working on something to that end. And if you want to check out the Buy Me a Cookie page, I'll link to that too. But just know I'm thinking of you guys, and I really appreciate it because, yeah, you know what? This show can be a lot of work sometimes. And even though I'm it's really busy with my life, of course. I keep working on it because I enjoy doing it so much. And getting the emails and messages from you guys on the various platforms like email or socials and different things really makes it all worthwhile. So I am going to have this membership thing set up, and I will be finding a way to say thank you for those who do make the time and effort to join that. So thanks again, Barry. I hope you're well, and you guys are amazing. So for the new year, I'm pretty excited. And as you probably guessed, this is going to be a bit of a shorter episode because I know you guys are probably wanting to do some celebrating. Actually, who am I kidding? I'm at 14 minutes right now, so never mind that. But you're probably wanting to do a little bit of celebrating, no matter what it might look like for you in this particular calendar year. But I do have plans for the new year. I have several recipes I'm pretty excited to try. Dave from Michigan. Hi, Dave. Thanks again for sending the suggestion. He sent me a video of someone who is making cannabis-infused powder. And earlier this year, well, not that much earlier, actually pretty recently, I was doing some recipes based around some of the Ripple powder, cannabis-infused powders. They had some recipes. And of course, I was finding ways to infuse them without the Ripple powders because personally, I find they are tasteless. They're dissolvable. You can put them into anything, super convenient. But they're also kind of pricey for the max 10 milligram potency. And for somebody where that 10 milligrams can work, that's fantastic. Absolutely. There's lots of people out there who are highly sensitive to THC, but there's lots of us out there who that wouldn't do anything for them. So I do find the powders to be a little pricey, but then Dave sent me this video and I was just like, I need to try this. So I'm going to be experimenting with that, see how easy it is to make in my own kitchen. And I'll be reporting back to you. And if it's not too tricky, then I'll be doing an episode on that one for sure. I have plans to do episodes for kale chips and hot chocolate bombs, gummies. I have someone who's pretty exciting has sent me an interesting gummy recipe and roasted nuts. And of course, I'm lining up some pretty exciting guests as well. And I am looking forward to all of this. Now, having said that, if there is an edible or a suggestion, a guest you would love to see on this show, by all means, please let me know because I love suggestions. And I want to be able to make this show something that you'll look forward to listening to, and that might mean covering a subject that you want to hear about. Of course, I always welcome questions too, and I will be doing listener Q&As in the future as well. I think I've done 3 or 4 of them by now, but of course, burning questions that you have about most anything, I would be happy to cover on this show as well. Last but not least, the subscriber giveaway. Yes, it's finally time. I was talking about this. I didn't really post this subscriber giveaway anywhere other than on the podcast. So this giveaway was purely for listeners. And I might be doing some more giveaways in the new year. I'm not really sure yet. We'll see what happens. But, it's kind of fun to do this kind of thing. And it's a small thank you for those of you who did sign up for the newsletters, the Edibles Enthusiast e-newsletter. The winner is going to get a gold leaf cooking journal. I love these cooking journals. It really just helps keep things totally organized. And taking notes is always, always smart because you think you're going to remember something. And then you come back to it a month later, a week later, sometimes even a day later, and you're like, what the heck was I doing? I don't remember. So these gold leaf cooking journals, they're great quality. All the stuff that they make is fantastic. And this is a real asset to any edible chef at home who's making some edibles and wants to keep track of some of the infusions they're making or recipes or just experiments that they're doing in the kitchen. And the winner of this giveaway is Diane in Toronto. Now, by the time, if you're listening to this, Diane, you've probably already gotten an email to say that you're the winner. But I just want to say to everyone who's listening, Diane was the winner. And thank you for listening, Diane, and subscribing. You're going to be getting a gold leaf journal in the mail very soon. So that's it for this week, you guys. Once again, going back to sort of a regularly scheduled program for next week. And again, you can support the show in a whole host of ways. The most important one, of course, being a listener. And I appreciate that endlessly. Of course, you can always use the resources over at the website. I've been talking about this dosing calculator that you can use. That you can find in the resources section. You can subscribe to the newsletter or the podcast on your favorite podcasting platform and share episodes with friends and families. Write a review. Go over to Buy Me a Cookie, shop through my affiliate links if that floats your boat. There's so many different ways you can support the show. And no matter what one you choose, I appreciate it and I appreciate you. And I hope you're enjoying some tasty edibles that you've created by your own hand this New Year's Eve. And that at the very least, even if you're not going out to party like you might any other year, that you're going to be lit right up and have a wonderful time with whoever you're spending it with. And you will be in my thoughts. Stay high, my friends.
Are you tired of trying edibles that are inconsistent in strength and flavor? Attempting to figure out your tolerance? Do you want to take control of your edibles experience and find the optimum combination of factors that results in the best outcome? If so, this edibles journal is perfect for you. The Bite Me Edibles Journal provides a convenient and organized way for you to track and record your edibles experience, whether it's homemade edibles or store-bought. It includes 48 fillable pages. It's sized 8.5 by 11 for plenty of writing space, includes information on calculating the potency of homemade edibles, and it was created by an edibles expert. Whether you're a seasoned edibles enthusiast or just starting out on your cannabis journey, the Bite Me Edibles Journal is an essential tool for anyone interested in enjoying their edibles to the fullest. Take control of your high life with this convenient and helpful resource. Add it to your Amazon cart today. Tap the link in the show notes.